A Liberty Lake police officer is resting at home tonight after shooting a man who reportedly tried to wrestle away the police officer's handgun.
Yeah, the 10-year veteran suffered a shoulder injury and a cut on his face. The man he was scuffling with was wearing a jail-issued jumpsuit under his clothing. The shots were fired along Apple Way, just west of State Line, late last night, and that's where KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey joins us live to show us what happened. Jeff?
Well, Dave, the officer spotted a man walking here along Apple Way shortly before midnight. The patrolman thought he might be contacting a suspicious person, perhaps a known criminal. As it turns out, the officer was right. This stretch of Apple Way that parallels Interstate 90 is dark and deserted at night, and so when the officer spotted a man walking down the road, he stopped and asked him what was up.
As far as we know, it was simply a welfare check, or hey, what are we doing out tonight? Do you need assistance? And somehow or another that resulted in a fight.
Dispatchers in the communications center then heard the officer signal a code 99, the scariest of all radio calls.
When an officer goes 99, that means he's involved in a life and death struggle or a life and death situation, and every available officer goes to him.
But by now the officer had both of his hands on his holster, holding onto his gun while getting hit in the face.
So a fight ensued over the control of the officer's handgun. Officer ultimately gained control of the handgun in fear of his life, then fired several shots at the subject.
Police officers are trained to shoot at the center of their targets to stop the threat, but the 30-year-old pedestrian was hit in the forearm and leg, probably as the man tried to shield himself from bullets at the last second. The suspect apparently was not armed with a deadly weapon, but the officer was, and police can legally use deadly force to keep their duty weapon from ending up in the wrong hands.
Especially when we have somebody that's trying to take the gun away from the officer, then the officer's going to do what's necessary to survive that.
This afternoon, investigators identified the man who was shot as Jeffrey Thomas Ward. He has a criminal history that dates back more than a dozen years. In fact, the last time he was behind bars was for assaulting a corrections officer. Reporting live in Liberty Lake, Jeff Humphrey, KXLY4.